Sand, if you continue sleeping the way you sleep today, your financial life won't change. But the problem isn't what you do during the day, it's what happens in your mind while you sleep, and nobody has ever explained that to you. There's a reason why you haven't yet reached the level of prosperity you desire, and no, it's not for lack of effort. Perhaps you work hard, think positively, try to stay focused, but deep down, you feel something pulling you back. As if there were an invisible, silent force acting within yourself. Subconscious, sabotaging your attempts at growth. And the most unsettling part. This happens mainly when you are sleeping. As you close your eyes, your brain enters an extremely powerful state. During the IM Deep and the internship REM intense neural reorganization, where their mental patterns, limiting beliefs and memories are reinforced or modified. It is at this moment that your mind decides whether you will remain trapped in the same cycles, or whether you will begin to build a new path. Direction, clarity, and even wealth, and most people simply ignore this process. Now here's the part almost no one tells you: you can directly influence what your brain does while you sleep. Yes, through something simple but extremely powerful called intention. When you learn to activate your internal system before bed, you begin to reprogram your nervous system, entering a state of alignment, trust, and openness to prosperity. It's like planting an invisible seed at night that starts to bear fruit the next day. So the question is simple and perhaps uncomfortable: are you going to continue letting your mind operate on autopilot, or are you going to take control of the most powerful moment of your day? You might think your day ends when you lay your head on the pillow, but in practice, that's exactly where everything starts to happen. During the IM, your brain enters a highly active state, where the subconscious takes control and begins a profound process of reorganization. It is at this moment that their mental habits, your relationship with the money, and even their perception of prosperity, they begin to take shape. While the body rests, the mind works, and works hard. No, I am deep, your nervous system enters into parasympathetic mode, promoting recovery, balance, and internal integration. This opens space for processes such as memory consolidation and the calorie consolidation, where past experiences can be reinterpreted. In other words, that which previously generated fear, doubt, or let's sabotage the car, it can start to lose strength provided you direct your energy correctly. Intention, this is where the neuroplasticity enters the scene, allowing new neural pathways connected to wealth may trust and clarity be strengthened. And there's more: your reticular activating system, it functions as a powerful filter, deciding what you perceive or ignore in reality. When you sleep with a clear intention, even a simple one, this system begins to look for evidence the next day that reinforces this new pattern. Suddenly, ideas, opportunities, and more aligned decisions emerge as if your mind were guiding you. This is not a coincidence, it is internal management, it's being built from the inside out. And when you understand how sleep cycles further deepen this process, everything starts to make even more sense. When you sleep, your brain doesn't go into switched off mode, it follows a highly strategic script divided into sound cycles. These cycles alternate between phases of light sleep, deep sleep, and REM, and the famous stage REM, where the most vivid dreams take place. Each of these phases plays an essential role in neural reorganization. Ignoring this is like trying to assemble a puzzle without seeing the complete picture. Your body rests, but your mind is literally redrawing your internal reality. During deep sleep, the brain prioritizes physical recovery and stabilization of the body. Nervous system not entering parasympathetic mode. During REM sleep, something even more interesting happens: the mind begins to reorganize emotions, experiences, and patterns, strengthening or weakening connections through neuroplasticity. This is where the memory consolidation and toric consolidation, they come into play. That is, what you have experienced and felt can take on new meanings. That limiting belief about money or that ability can begin to be rewritten without conscious effort. Now enters a silent protagonist, their reticular activating system RAS. It functions like an intelligent filter that decides what deserves your attention. You know when you learn something new and start seeing it everywhere. That's the RAS in action. During sleep, it adjusts based on your dominant intentions and emotions. If you sleep reinforcing scarcity, it seeks scarcity. But if you activate thoughts of prosperity, clarity and direction, he begins to reorganize his perception of this. And this is exactly where the next step comes in: how to use intention before sleep to consciously influence all of this. Now that you understand that the eye emits an active field of transformation, and the most important question arises: what are you bringing into it? Because hey race, the key point: yours. Subconscious, it works based on what it receives as emotional instruction, not just rational instruction. In other words, it's no use repeating empty phrases if your body is full of doubt. True change begins when you activate a somatic intention, felt in the body, which signals to brain exactly what needs to be strengthened during the night. Before sleep, there is a powerful window where your system transitions to parasympathetic mode, reducing resistance and creating space for the neural reorganization. This is the ideal moment to plant a clear direction, not something complex, but something true. It can be as simple as closing your eyes and affirming internally, I am ready to align my mind with that prosperity and to WLTH. The secret lies in consistency and in its presence, to feel that it is already beginning to become a part of you, even if you don't see immediate results yet. If you want to apply this practically today, hey race, a simple way: lie down, slow your breathing, relax your body, and focus your attention on what you want to build. Visualize, but without forcing it, just allow it. If thoughts offlet sabotage the limiting beliefs, if obstacles arise, don't fight them. Observe them and return to your intention. This reduces the risk. Resistance and teaches your nervous system to create new pathways more naturally. Over time, this small ritual begins to profoundly influence your mental patterns, and that's where the real internal management it begins to emerge. There is a huge difference between forcing decisions and feeling direction. Many people try to solve their life problems through effort, pressure, and the I have to succeed now mentality. But brain under stress, it activates defense patterns, not expansion patterns. When its nervous system, when you're on high alert, overwhelmed by anxiety or doubt, access to clarity is blocked. That's why, often, the more you try to control everything, the more lost you feel. True direction doesn't come from noise, it emerges when there is inner space. During the I am, especially after a well-integrated cycle between I am deep and REM, in this state, the brain reduces these defenses and begins to reorganize information more broadly. It is in this state that unexpected connections arise, ideas appear, and that feeling of now it makes sense begins to emerge. This happens because the subconscious, it can access patterns beyond immediate logic, promoting a neural reorganization smarter. It's as if your mind can finally see the path without interference from limiting beliefs. In practice, you begin to notice this change subtly. Decisions become simpler, and clarity increases, and trust, it appears without excessive effort. It's not impulsiveness, it's alignment. And that directly impacts your relationship with money, opportunities and prosperity, because you begin to act with more precision and less doubt. If you want to accelerate this process, observe how you wake up. Your first sensations are valuable clues to your inner direction. And the more you learn to trust this, the more your mind aligns, preparing the ground to understand that prosperity, above all, is an internal state. Most people face prosperity as something external: money in the bank, visible results, material achievements. But here is an important turning point. Before any results appear, prosperity needs to exist as an internal state. It is born from alignment, trust, and a genuine sense of capability. When that is not present, the person themselves' brain enters into conflict, activating patterns offlet sabotage the car that push away opportunities, even if you don't realize it. During the I am, especially in the deeper cycles, your nervous system, it begins to reorganize these internal patterns. If you have been cultivating limiting beliefs about money, such as "this isn't for me" or "it's too difficult," these thoughts are reinforced, or, with the right practice, begin to be reprogrammed through neuroplasticity. It is at this point that there a consolidation it acts, allowing old experiences to be reinterpreted. That feeling of inadequacy can gradually give way to a new perception of WALT as something possible and natural. In practice, this translates into small changes that make all the difference. You start making decisions with more confidence, you notice opportunities you previously ignored, and you feel less resistance be acting. It's as if your internal system starts working in your favor, not against you. And the most interesting thing, this doesn't require perfection, but rather consistency in adjusting their mental habits. Especially before bed. Because when prosperity ceases to be just a goal and becomes an internal state, everything around you begins to reorganize itself to reflect that. And that's exactly when the cycle between night and day begins to gain strength. Now comes one of the most important parts, and one that almost no one notices. What happens during the IM. It doesn't get stuck at night. It manifests itself directly during the day. Neural reorganization. What happens while you sleep begins to influence your decisions, your perception of the world, and even how you react to situations. It's as if your brain wakes up already with a new configuration, guiding you with more clarity, direction, and, gradually, closer proximity to prosperity. During the day, your reticular activating system, it kicks in by filtering everything based on what was reinforced during the night. If you slept cultivating scarcity or doubt, it will highlight exactly that in your reality. But if you activated an intention geared towards WALTH with trust and alignment, he starts looking for evidence of it throughout the day. You begin to notice opportunities, ideas, connections, things that were always there, but that previously went unnoticed. This completely changes the game. And here's the key point: the day also feeds the night. Everything you think, feel, and reinforce throughout the day comes back to you. Subconscious in the next few sound cycles, influencing the memory consolidation and Torah consolidation of their mental patterns. It's a continuous cycle. Therefore, it's not just an isolated moment before sleep, but a flow between consciousness and the unconscious. When you understand this, you begin to adjust small daily habits that strengthen this process, and that's when resistances and old patterns begin to appear more clearly. When do you start to change your relationship with the I am, the subconscious, into prosperity? Something inevitable happens there. Resistances, and don't worry, this isn't a sign that things are going wrong, it's quite the opposite. Your brain is used to certain mental patterns. These habits, often built up over years, trigger a protective mechanism in any attempt at change. It's as if it's saying, this is too new. Better to go back to the familiar. These resistances appear in various forms: thoughts of doubt, feelings of laziness, lack of motivation, or even that inner voice that says this won't work for you. All of this is part of the limiting beliefs being activated. During the sound cycles, these structures enter a process of reconsolidation, which means they can be weakened or strengthened. The difference lies in how you react to them. If you fight against these thoughts, you increase resistance, but if observed without judgment, its nervous system, he begins to understand that he no longer needs to keep them. A simple yet powerful practice: when you notice these patterns, instead of trying to eliminate them, simply acknowledge them. Okay, this is old. This kind of awareness reduces the let's sabotage the car and creates space for neural reorganization. Things will happen more smoothly. Over time, these thoughts lose their power, like a habit that is gradually forgotten. And here is something essential: you don't need to conquer your mind, you need to train it with consistency, because it is precisely this repetition that begins to transform what was once resistance into a new, natural pattern. Here is a truth that few people like to hear, but that changes everything. It's not what you do once that transforms your life, it's what you repeat. Consistency, that's what you're trying to create new mental patterns and strengthen pathways through neuroplasticity. When you start applying this practice every night, even in a simple way, your subconscious understands that this is important and begins to prioritize this information during the sound cycles. And calm down, consistency doesn't mean perfection. You need to do everything right, every day, without fail. In fact, trying to be perfect activates more resistance and it can even generate let's sabotage the car. What really works is maintaining the rhythm, even on days when you're tired or lack motivation. A simple intention, a few minutes of presence before bed. That's enough to keep the process active. Neural reorganization and memory consolidation. If you want to make this easier, create a small nighttime ritual. Something light, almost automatic. Dim the lights, avoid intense stimuli, breathe deeply, and set your mind to something. Intention. Over time, your nervous system begins to associate this moment with the beginning of a deeper state, facilitating entry into it. I am deep and in a state REM, and it is precisely this repetition that begins to generate a transformation. Silent, preparing you to understand something that often confuses many people, those moments when it seems like nothing is happening but everything is being built. At some point in your journey, you may feel like nothing is happening. You apply, you maintain the consistency, adjust your intention before bed. But the external results don't seem to match. That's the famous plateau, and it often generates doubt, frustration, and even the desire to give up. But here's an important twist: this apparent nothingness is, in fact, one of the most productive moments in the process. During these periods, your brain is deeply involved in memory consolidation and in stabilizing the new pathways created by neuroplasticity. It's like building a solid foundation before erecting a building. Sound cycles, especially note EMD, intense neural reorganization. Integrating everything you've been repeating. The absence of visible changes doesn't mean stagnation, it means your system is strengthening from within. The most common mistake here is interpreting the plateau as failure and abandoning the practice, reactivating old habits. Mental patterns and limiting beliefs. But if you keep that trust and it continues smoothly, then something interesting happens suddenly. Almost without warning, you notice a change. More clarity, more direction, firmer decisions, less resistance. It's as if everything is starting to fall into place. And this doesn't happen out of nowhere, it's the result of integration, a silent process that has occurred over time. And when this integration begins to overflow, it doesn't just stay in your mind, it starts to impact all areas of your life. There comes a point when that transformation, it ceases to be something internal and begins to appear in the real world. That which has been worked on for neural reorganization and for memory consolidation, it begins to influence your choices at work, your attitudes and relationships, and even how you manage your time. It's not something forced, it's natural. Your brain, it simply starts operating with more clarity, direction, and less internal conflict. In practice, you notice simple but powerful changes. You start saying no more often to things that don't make sense, and you make decisions with more trust and feels less need for external approval. His relationship with the money, it changes because you stop acting on impulse or fear and start acting with more awareness and alignment. This happens because your mental patterns, they are being updated, and your nervous system, he no longer reacts to old situations in the same way. Let's sabotage the car, it loses ground, and the action becomes more consistent. And the most interesting thing is that this integration doesn't just happen in one R8 spreads. Your energy changes, your presence changes, your way of thinking changes. Prosperity, it begins to be perceived not only as a financial result, but as a feeling of inner stability, purpose, and capability. And this feeds back into the entire process, further strengthening its mental habits and their next one. Sound cycles, and when you start to see these effects in practice, it becomes much easier to recognize the real results of this journey. Now let's talk about what really matters, what starts to change in practice when you apply this with consistency. And no, it's not something mystical or distant, these are real, noticeable changes. People who start working on intention before IMT report more clarity upon waking, less anxiety, and a growing sense of direction. It's as if the brain stop operating on autopilot and start acting with more alignment. Small day-to-day decisions begin to become easier, and this, accumulated, changes everything. A simple example: someone who previously avoided looking at their finances due to discomfort naturally begins to face them. money with more peace of mind. Without pressure, without guilt. This happens because the subconscious no longer associates that topic with fear or resistance, and other common occurrence ideas start to emerge more frequently, especially after waking up. This is linked to the stage Raman-toneural reorganization, which fosters creative connections. Suddenly, that solution you couldn't see appears. Almost like a spontaneous insight. And perhaps most importantly, you begin to notice a deeper internal change. The feeling of being lost gives way to a feeling of purpose, that you're on the right track. Prosperity, it ceases to be something distant and begins to be built from the inside out, with more trust and less let's sabotage the car. Of course, challenges still exist, but now you respond to them with a different level of awareness. And it is precisely this internal change that sustains lasting external results, preparing the ground to consolidate all of this in an even more conscious way. Now let me ask you a very direct question: what have you been feeding your mind every night? Is it bringing you closer to or further away from the life you want? Because, in the end, it's not just about it's about what happens inside you while the world outside is silent. Your brain, your subconscious, your mental patterns, everything is being rearranged night after night. The question is, are you participating in this with intention, or it's running on autopilot, reinforcing the same patterns? Limiting beliefs and cycles off. Let's sabotage the car. What if today was the turning point? If, as you lay in bed tonight, you consciously decided to enter alignmento, activate a new direction, to allow your nervous system work in your favor, prosperity, and from your wealth, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to start. Because the real transformation, it doesn't happen in a single moment, it is built through repetition, through consistency. In the small, invisible adjustments that, over time, change everything. Now I want to know from you. What intention will you plant tonight before you go to sleep? Write it in the comments below. This not only strengthens your decision but also further activates this process within yourself. Brain. If this content resonated with you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because here, you're not just watching, you're learning how to reprogram your mind to live with more clarity, purpose, and prosperity every day.